Hey everyone, and welcome to another Airbrush Asylum video. In today's quick tips video, I want to show you guys how I hold one of these. So my way of holding an airbrush coming up. Okay, so you can kind of see the way I like to hold my brush. This particular brush is the Iwata CMC Plus Micron with a 0.23mm needle. You'll notice that my finger sits over the trigger rather than sitting up on it like this. I used to airbrush like this, but it's basically a lot more fatigue on your finger just to complete that motion, whereas you'll notice here if I'm sitting my finger over the trigger, it's a lot easier to sort of pull back and continue with that softer, finer control rather than the maximum throw by putting your finger directly on the point of the trigger. Again, it's totally up to you though, whatever feels comfortable, but I just thought I'd show you in this video how I prefer to hold it. And you can see, if I spin it around, you can see the positioning. So let's go put some paint in this now, and I'll show you how it performs by sitting your finger directly over the trigger like this. Okay, so I'm going to add some Trident transparent black into my airbrush. So this has already been pre-thinned, and it's mixed up with transparent base and some black, so it's just a color that I use for my final detailing so that it's not solid black. Okay, so holding the airbrush like I showed you earlier with the finger hanging over the front of that trigger. It's kind of to the side, as you'll notice there, because I'm using a gravity cup. If I was using my CMSB with the cup on the side, I could comfortably rest that in that section and it wouldn't obstruct anything. You'll notice that I've got the airline wrapped around my wrist. I just prefer this. It just takes a bit of the weight off the airline, whether or not you're using the straight shot or the braided airline. So what I'm going to do now is, using this technique, I'm just going to draw in some lines like so. So some shaded lines, and then up close, and we can do some fine lines. Keeping it nice and straight. But you can see how nice it is to get that control. So if I want to do, say, some dots, you can see how I only have to move my finger a little bit to get that, to remove some of the, to allow some of that paint to come out. Same thing if I want to do stippling sort of texture. You can see I'm only just gradually pulling back on that trigger and moving the airbrush around, and I can vary my height. If I was to do this now with the trigger sitting like so, you'll see how much more action I have to put into the stroke and how much more strain it puts on my finger. So this is the real reason why I recommend you work like so. So I do hope you enjoyed checking out how I go about holding my airbrush. So if this is the first time to the channel, feel free to hit subscribe, tap on that bell icon, and that'll notify you every time I put out new content. And until next time, go grab your airbrush and do some amazing artwork yourself, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Bye for now.